Debbie Lesko. Congresswoman, thank you for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm looking at states like New Mexico, I'm looking at states like Texas and Arizona, and even hospitalizations. You'll see on many of these border towns that the hospitalizations are far greater than in other cities that are further from the border. There's a lot of evidence suggesting that Mexico may be responsible for this, with people coming over for medical tourism and the like.
Well, we sure have gotten reports that people from Mexico are coming over to use, get help in our hospitals here in Arizona, and that very may be the case that that's what's causing some of the spread in these border towns. I mean, it makes sense to me. Why would these border towns have a bigger cases than up here in Phoenix? So, yes, I think it's a problem. It's a problem that the Customs and Border Protection Office knows about and is trying to work with. And so here in Arizona, I think we're actually doing a good job under the circumstances. Republican Governor Ducey is doing a balanced approach, and the schools are doing a good job trying to give parents a choice here. You can basically go to online schooling if they want, or in person. So they're giving parents the choice, and I think that's great.
All right. Before we get to schools, because I do want to talk to you about that, and maybe we can recruit your help on this, because I know you mentioned U.S. Border Patrol and Customs aware of this problem. I had a Border Patrol agent on this program that says, yes, they're aware of it, but they are not testing people. They are not checking temperatures as people are coming across these official border crossings and ports of entry. They're not being checked. You can go from Texas to New York, and you got to get your temperature checked when you land under some mandates. How are we not checking temperatures when they're coming in from Mexico?
Yeah, that's something that myself and other Congress members have written a letter to Chad Wolf, Department of Homeland Security Secretary, and asking what more can we do. First of all, finding out why there is a surge down at the border, and then what more we could do. And so obviously it needs to be investigated to see what more we can do in Congress to get more action down at the border, because certainly we don't want this being spread any more than it is. Although in Arizona, there's still about 11% ICU bed capacity, so we've managed this. Remember, all along, it was supposed to be about flattening the curve, not totally getting rid of any cases of COVID-19. And so we have managed to do this throughout the entire country. We have plenty of ventilators here in Arizona. I think we have over 51% of the ventilators still are available here in Arizona. So I believe the Trump administration and the state has done a really good job of trying to mitigate this. I mean, unfortunately, they're battling a lot of the news who likes to sensationalize everything. So every time anybody at all dies, they put it on the news. People are afraid. Yesterday, I think it was, the Phoenix mayor, who's a Democrat, basically lied on national TV saying that we had run out of morgue space. I mean, that wasn't true, and so she had to retract that. And so, the fear that's being pushed out there is really scaring people. And when I did the math, I mean, it's bad when anybody dies, right? But when I did the math, it says on the Arizona Department of Health Services website that 28 people out of 100,000 people die from coronavirus. Well, when you do the math on that, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 0.028%. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be safe and careful. I am. But let's not overreact to this. I mean, we certainly can't keep shutting down the economy.
And Congressman, I would also say that when they say those are COVID deaths, they could die of liver disease, but if they test positive for COVID, they're getting lumped in as a COVID death as well. So the numbers are all over the map here. We appreciate the work you're doing. Good luck to Arizona. I know this rise in cases is troubling to say the least, but you make some very good points about why people can rest just a little bit easier, at least when you look at some of the numbers. Thank you, Congressman Debbie Lesko, for coming on the program. The radical left is a master